Hello and welcome to Navy School. I'm Dale Brooks, the principal of Navy. Today I will introduce you to some of the faculty, students, and community members and let you see some of the special programs that we feel are unique to Navy. I'll begin with a little school history. Despite the name Navy, the school is not affiliated with the military. The school was instead named for the post office, which once existed in the area. The original school building was burned in 1888 and was replaced by this one-room school, which is now a private residence located next to the present school site. The present school building, which is now 36 years old, is located at 3500 West Ox Road. While the building has changed, the philosophy has not. The guiding philosophy for Navy School is that excellence in education is a process, not a product. It is our goal to have students acquire the skills necessary to become well-adjusted, contributing members of our pluralistic society. In order to accomplish this goal, the faculty, staff, and community have implemented many special programs. The programs we will highlight for you are the Model School Technology Project, the Special Education Immersion Pilot, and the Learning Lab, the Autistic Class, Parent Volunteerism, the 6th grade's integration of the Middle Ages Unit, the Navy Chorus, and Navy School Business Partnership with Fair Oaks Hospital. We'll begin in the 2nd grade classroom where we have implemented the Model School Technology Project. Last summer, 3 2nd grade teachers and I were trained to integrate computers and multimedia equipment into the curriculum. Darlene Garrett will further explain this program.
The 2nd grade technology pilot involves the use of computers to integrate technology into the curriculum. Last year, Dale Brooks petitioned the Area 3 office to get this program at Navy Elementary School, and we were picked because of our readiness. We had teachers that were already trained in computers. We had some computers, and we had community support for the program, as well as administrative support. We were picked with Hunters Woods to pilot the program this year, so it started in September, and it involved all of our 2nd grade classrooms. The teacher becomes an instructor and a facilitator. The children use problem-solving skills and cooperative learning, and they guide a lot of their own learning through the computer programs. They know how to edit and spell check their stories. They publish and write their own stories, and then the student comes and gets the teacher if they need extra help. Well, each morning the children come in and they pick a topic that they would like to write about. At the same time, I have 4 children that don't write in their journals but go back to the computer, and instead of using their journals, they use the computer to write their stories. This is part of our technology plan to integrate the computers into our daily classroom activities. They can pick from a list of topics. They can choose what they'd like to write. So that day they had picked a topic from their topic list, from their writing workshop folder. Many times they can pick one of their topics that they've started a rough draft on, and they'll publish it into a book or story.
Elizabeth was a beautiful princess. She lived in a castle and had expensive princess clothes. She was going to marry a prince named Ronald.
We have many discus books, but we're using Cinderella and the Paper Bag Princess today. These integrate into our fairy tale unit that we're doing at the present time. The CD-ROM plugs into the Macintosh computer. The story's read to the children, which helps their vocabulary and their comprehension skills. And the teacher, it's really nice because the teacher can customize the program so that it meets the children's needs. You can change the program so that sentences are read or phrases, and also there is a pronunciation key, and it also can be programmed in Spanish. Well, there's a speaker sign, and they click on the mouse on the speaker sign, and then the phrase or sentence is read to them.
Unfortunately, a dragon smashed her castle, burned all her clothes with his fiery breath, and carried off Prince Ronald.
They really enjoy the program, especially students that are less able readers than other students. It facilitates their reading and helps them to improve their skills and their self-esteem. The students are very interested in this program. They seem to enjoy writing more and reading more because they're involved with the technology and the computers. I'm really excited. It's really a privilege to be part of this program and to be selected throughout the area. We've had a lot of training and I've met a lot of interesting people through this program, and I've learned a lot.
I am certainly pleased with the results of the Model School Technology Project, and I hope that it continues into the upper grades. I am now in Beth Glaser's classroom to tell you about the Special Education Immersion pilot. This program has been identified to help students who have, in the past, been identified with learning disabilities, but who have been assigned to a regular education classroom, such as this one. Janet Johnson, one of our resource teachers, will tell you more about the program.
The Immersion pilot program here at Navy was begun as an effort to work with children with special academic needs in the classroom setting as much as possible. This really differs from the more traditional self-contained classroom where the children were in a very small group for the majority of their school day, mainstreamed out for certain subjects for a fairly small piece of their day. What we want them to do is be successful in that classroom setting for as much of their school day as possible, not by themselves. We teach them strategies, test-taking strategies, how to do things differently because they do have different learning styles. We have resource people, such as myself, in the classrooms. We have modifications to those children's programs, so they're not in there by themselves. They are in there with support, but still successful during their school day in the classroom.
And using Part B, you were to use the copyright page, table of contents, and index of this book to answer these questions. Number 6, when was the book published? Mike needs to follow. Good.
I was doing some written follow-up work with the children in the 5th grade class. They had had an English lesson, and I was working with them, following up on what they had done. This is part of my job as a resource teacher. What I do is support the classroom teachers, and that's what you saw in class, was me in there with the classroom teacher. Sometimes I work with the children in small groups. That's also part of my job.
I had this published.
Right, these are the authors. These are the authors, and this is the publisher.
This is okay.
Actually, you can remember because it's in the same order as me here. That helps. I think we've seen benefits across the board this year. They like being in a larger classroom, lots of friends. Socially, it seems to be good for everybody. I think there's a great deal of benefit to be derived there, and benefit we've seen already in a half year of doing this. I think it's very positive. I think it's extremely positive as far as the way this program's working, the way the children have been integrated into the regular classroom. I don't think the children see people as different. They see children as friends. These are people in my class.
Jean Joy, one of our resource teachers, will explain to you the work she does in the Learning Lab with students on completing long-term assignments or for reteaching concepts previously taught in the classroom.
The Learning Lab is really a time during the day. 4 days a week I run the Learning Lab. It's mostly for 6th graders, and it's our school's effort to provide some time and a place where we can provide individual support, individual help, or small group instruction for students that might need it. Not just students that are having difficulty on an assignment, but also to work on some special projects and for enrichment also. Okay, you saw the Learning Lab in operation, and you saw children working on the computer on a closed reading activity, preparing them for the Virginia Literacy Testing Program. You saw 2 students working on a special project, creating a journal for work that they've been doing in Ms. Kaufman's kindergarten classroom. And then you saw students working on their spelling pretest and then working on the spelling assignment for that day.
Extent, exterior, exterminal,
Extinguish means to put out. So far, it's worked out fairly well. Students are asking, if they can come, and teachers are using it also for sometimes when a student is out sick, to catch that student up. It serves that purpose really well, or to give tests to students that don't test well in a total class environment. They need someone, sitting right there with them, interpreting the directions. We really want to foster students' ownership of their learning. We want them to know when they need to ask for help, when they need clarification on assignments, when we want them to want to learn, so that's why we didn't want to just have it helping students. We wanted to include an enrichment component too, so that students that had these ideas about other activities, they would be able to work on those. We would have a time then during the day when we could do that and provide that for them. But the ultimate bottom line goal is that we want to foster their ownership of their learning, because that's what they're here for, to learn.
Another special needs program at Navy is the Autistic Classroom. This classroom provides for 7 kindergarten-age students with autism or with autistic tendencies. Christine Kaufman will explain in detail today's activities where she is facilitating communication with her students.
This class opened in September of this year. It began due to an increase of demands for children in this area that need a class of intensive specialized instruction. The reason why you're not seeing the children's faces is because not all the children in this class have been diagnosed as autistic. A lot of them just display autistic-like tendencies, and therefore we don't want to give them the label of autism. The goals of the class are to increase communication skills, increase social emotional skills such as turn-taking, playing with other children, looking at people when you're talking, and different cognitive skills. The students need intensive language and communication instruction. One of the major characteristics of autism or autistic tendencies is the fact that they have delayed language or don't know how to use their language in the appropriate manner. So one of the focuses of the classroom is intensive communication to build those skills. You saw the children playing in the rice table, which is an excellent way of facilitating communication. I interact with the children and they just respond to each other. They take turns with each other. They play with each other. You saw parallel play. You saw them interacting and speaking with one another. And you saw them interacting and speaking with me. Most of the time it's isolated play. The children tend to play by themselves. And our goal is to get them to start playing and doing things with other children. And parallel play is the next step between isolated play and cooperative play, where they're actually building something together, or they're actually... You saw some cooperative play with the soup when the kids are making the soup out of the rice. The 2 children were, taking turns pouring the rice into the bowl, and so you saw some cooperative play there. But most of the time in our classroom, you see a lot of isolated play where the child just plays by themselves. I enjoy the class. It's really rewarding to see the children make all the gains that they're making.
Whether in the special needs program or in the general education population, all students at Navy benefit greatly from the specialized and varied curriculum we provide them. In the 6th grade, for example, all 81 students are involved in a culminating activity of the study of the Middle Ages. Connie Norton will explain that program to you.
Well, we study ancient cultures in 6th grade, and in order for students to understand why we are where we are today, it's important they understand where we came from. And we start out the year studying cultures of Mesopotamia, Egypt. We go into Greece, we go into Rome. We go into the Middle Ages, Renaissance, and then contemporary cultures. We're right now at the Middle Age stage of social studies, but during the Middle Ages, a lot of inventions occurred, changes in government, changes in society that affect these kids today. And in order for them to understand where they're coming from, they need to understand all the related material that makes things the way it is today. In the lower pod, where the 6th grade middle school students are, we were working on building a middle-aged city using various materials that would help us build the city. We had lots of parental help. We had kids that were slated to work in certain spots in order to put this city together.
What can you draw? A crown? How about a diamond? A diamond in green with the red diamond in green and a red diamond background.
We had lots of parents come in who gave their time, who helped get materials and use ideas. And when you have a group that large, about 91 kids, you need to be able to make sure you have enough people there gearing the activities accordingly. Started out with boxes, pieces of cardboard, and kids had a lot of background activity as far as cathedrals and what the city looked like, and the moms did some work. We did things to scale. Math was brought in. We integrate language arts into all the activities, and Mrs. Milstead worked on writing, Mr. Wolf worked on scale. It's all very, very meaningful. Student reaction was extremely positive. Kids had a good time. Anytime students can do something hands-on and put their best into it and have the experience of listening to things that are presented to them, and anytime students can work and develop something, it makes it a lot more meaningful for them. It helps them learn and understand it. I love teaching social studies. I've spent years perfecting materials, gathering materials that I have. I have a lot of things that I bring into the program that are certainly not in the textbook. You have to make history something kids want to learn. You have to make social studies something they want to learn. And you have to bring in a lot of activities for them to be challenged. And in order for them to learn the most they can, you have to do a lot of things out of the ordinary, and to make it meaningful for them.
We're in the general music room where Jill Compton, our general music teacher, is preparing for an annual event. This event is our spring musical. This year's musical is The Wizard of Oz. She will explain to you more about her involvement with this production.
Every year we have a play in the spring. It's a tradition here, and so it's become a part of our Navy heritage, and so we're working to continue on that tradition and join in the fun of this annual event. Well, today you saw a rehearsal of The Wizard of Oz, and we are working to block out some scenes. We're working on articulation, projection of voices, creating a characterization that each child will feel comfortable with.
Oh dear, are you all right? Did you hurt yourself? Wait, do I give him time to say, oh dear?
Yeah, get up, get your straw. You might stuff a few handfuls of straw back in.
There goes some of me again. Are you all right? Did you hurt yourself? Oh, yes.
Well, we're really just starting. This is the very beginning stages. The play's not until May. But I like to start early so that everybody feels comfortable and no one gets really nervous and they don't feel pressured in the end, have too little rehearsal time. So we're really just starting.
My goodness, I can talk again. Oh, my arms, please.
All right, give her time.
My elbows. Oh.
Did it hurt?
No, really, it feels fine. I've held that accent for ages.
Well, it's really involves quite a number of people. We use the 5th and 6th grade chorus, and in turn the 6th grade teachers and the 5th grade teachers help me as well. Mrs. Milstead in the dramatic end, Mr. Wolf is helping us with the lighting and the sound, and as well as playing the part of the wizard. The third grade teachers are more than accommodating with all the changes in their schedules so that we can use the third graders. They're our little munchkins. We use all 90 of them. And we use a lot of the community as well. If it weren't for all the parent volunteers that help us out with the myriad of things that come up, we could never pull it off. Most of all, I would hope they get a feeling of a true team effort, that they don't feel that just because they have a line that they're the most important person in the play, that regardless of whether you're working on the stage crew or the scenery or the sound effects or the lighting or the dance routines or the band music, whatever, that you feel an integral part of this. It's a total team effort. Everyone is important. We couldn't do it without each and every individual. Well, I would hope that they would have a really positive, happy experience. I know from my own work in drama that I can remember even back into elementary school, my very first plays, and they're still a really important part of my life, and I would hope that they would influence them in the same way. It's something they will remember and have fond feelings of and have a real feeling of success as well. Oh, I love anything to do with dramatics and music. It's always been a part of my life, and just a ham at heart, I think. But it's just a truly enjoyable experience for me.
Through the use of activities such as those you just saw, Navy School is able to provide our students with a wide range of activities. A large core of parent volunteers assist us in this effort.
Is there anything in the book that happened that you would like happen to yourself?
Well, I might want to be one of the best in my class. And
well, that's always good. How about, is there
Our parents help with a variety of activities throughout the school day. Primarily what you saw today was parent volunteers in the school library, parents conferencing with students, parents putting together the yearbook for this year, and parents at the security desk.
Veronica, how are you doing? What are you here for today? I'm going to update the Black History display, and I'm going to measure the teacher's lounge.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that too.
Do you have a tag that's got your name on it?
Mrs. Amy Cobb is our current PTA president at Navy School and is also a volunteer.
Navy's unique in that we have an outstanding volunteer force. We've never had a lack of volunteers needed in one particular area. We have a substitute list for the security desk. We are known throughout the county for that. We have over 100% PTA membership. Last year we were the highest school in Fairfax County because of the PTA membership, which we're very proud of. It's just a nice small school, and the teachers care about the kids. They want to teach, and they encourage the parents' involvement, and the staff does too, and you know, it's a good mix.
In 1982, the parents of Navy School came together and decided that they wanted to build a Leathers playground, which is what is out there right now. And as a result, this is a total PTA effort. And members of the grounds committee will also help in maintaining the playground. Lieutenant Colonel Colin Willis is one of our parent volunteers, and he is responsible for the grounds committee.
When we first moved here, one of the things I did was I took some advice from an old friend who told me to find the school and then move into that area. And we did that. We found 2 schools. I have another son in intermediate school. And very impressed by both Navy and the other school where my son goes. And one of the things I was impressed by is the parent-teacher relationship. And we just felt that was very important, that we be involved in the education process. And so I won't say that the grounds committee guy is the most important thing in the world, but it was the kind of thing I like to do and where I felt I could offer something. So I just felt that was important for me to be involved in the school.
Parents feel a real sense of responsibility as we do as a faculty and staff to provide the best education possible with a variety of choices and opportunities for growth and for students to extend their critical and creative thinking. With the help of these volunteers, Navy School is able to accomplish many of its goals and objectives. We are also fortunate enough to receive assistance from our business partnership with Fairfax Hospital. We enjoy mutual benefits because of the partnership. All of our students in grades K through 6 are involved in healthcare awareness tours of the hospital, which help our students broaden their understanding of healthcare issues as they learn career options in the industry. Fairfax purchased Navy a computer with a CD-ROM player. They provide speakers on healthcare issues for students and parents. And in addition, we have had the pleasure of appearing on the cover of the Fairfax Focus magazine 2 times over the last 1.5 years. Jennie Nelson is the partnership coordinator from Fairfax Hospital who is involved with the program.
Kickoff for the partnership was on March 28, 1989. From about October of '88 until the kickoff, plans were made with contact people at the hospital as well as from the school, working out the best laid plans for the partnership, aspects of what would benefit the school and what would benefit the hospital. Personally, it's part of my job that I really enjoy. The energy, the creativity, the staff is wonderful to work with, all the way from Dale Brooks, the principal, to Mr. Pickett, the janitor. They are just real accommodating and real easy to work with. Maureen Scott is the contact person here at the hospital, so she and I work closely on projects that we're going to undertake together and planning and organizing. So I feel real good about it, and I think it's going to go on for a number of years. It's a real good investment of our time as we reach out to the community. And then just personally, it's rewarding for me to be a part of it.
I think that the atmosphere at Navy is a warm, nurturing one with a strong sense of high student expectations. I hope that the students, teachers, and parents enjoy a sense of pride, acceptance, and responsibility to the children we serve. Our hope is that the curriculum we provide for them, along with a dedicated staff and supportive parents and community members, will afford us students who have the skills necessary for becoming productive citizens.